Jacob or James chapter 3, starting at verse 1. Read along with me, family. And we're going to read down to verse 13. James or Jacob chapter 3, verse 1 reads as follows: My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all, and if any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man and able also to bridle the whole body. Verse 3. Behold, we put bits in horses' mouth that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold, also ships, which though they be so great and are driven of fierce winds, yet they are turned with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeneth. Even so the tongue, Jacob or James 3 verse 5, even so the tongue is a little member and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that defileth the whole body, and set on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed, and have been tamed by mankind. But, this is verse 8 of James 3, but the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poisons. Therewith we Baruch even the Father, Abba, and therewith we curse men which were made after the similitude of Yahuwah. Out of the same mouth proceedeth what they say, blessings or Baruch and curses. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Doeth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet and bitter water? Can a fig tree, my brethren or sisters, bear olive berries? Either a vine fig, so can no fountain both yield salt and fresh water. So at all times, family, we must be ever so careful what we speak out of our mouths. James 3 verse 13. Who is a wise man or woman and endued with knowledge among you? Let him or her show out of good conversation his or her works with meekness of wisdom. So at all times we must show meekness and wisdom. Giving a scriptural example of a person pertaining meekness, family, let us turn over to the book of Numbers. Follow along with me, please. Numbers chapter 12, and we want verse 3. And it reads as follows, giving a scriptural example of meekness. And they said, have Yahuwah indeed spoken by Moses? Have he not also spoken by us? And Yahuwah heard it. This is Miriam and Aharon speaking against Moshe. Numbers 12 verse 3 is why we came here. Pay attention, family. Now the man Moshe or Moses was very meek above all men that were on the face of the earth. So Moses or Moshe was a very meek and humble man. So at all times, even in rage or anger, or we're dealing with any particular emotion at any time in our lives, we should always display meekness. Proverbs chapter 17. Proverbs 17, family, follow along with me, pertaining to taming the tongue. Proverbs 17, verses 27 and 28. And it reads as follows. He that have knowledge, or she that have knowledge, family, spareth his or her words, and a man or a woman of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Proverbs 17:28. Even a fool, when he or her holdeth his or her peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man or woman of understanding. So we should always, at all times, be mindful of the words that we speak out of our mouths, family. Still in the book of Proverbs, let us go to chapter 21, and we want verse 23. And it reads as follows. Proverbs 21, verse 23. Whoso keepeth his or her mouth and his or her tongue keepeth his or her soul from troubling. So we should be mindful of the words that we speak out of our mouth. This is a powerful scripture right here where we're going next. Pay close attention. Still in the book of Proverbs, let us look at chapter 18, family, and verse 21. Pay close attention. I allow you're taking notes. Proverbs 18:21 reads as follows. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Family, always be mindful as to what we speak out of our mouths at any given time. We can speak life into our situation, or we can speak death into our situation. I've seen in times past where some people would get upset and they say, "You make me sick." And then before you know it, this person, whether male or female, before you know it, they're sick. Why did they become sick? Because words are vibrational, and the very words that they spoke out of their mouth over themselves pertaining to a temporary situation caused the sickness or illness to come upon themselves. So at all times, even when we are in a temporary emotional state, we must be ever so careful and mindful as to the words we speak out of our mouths, family, at any given time. Words are vibrational. Words become life. Psalms or Tehillim chapter 33, verse 6. Psalms 33, verse 6. Pay attention. By the word of Yahuwah were the heavens or Shamaim made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. So Abba Yahuwah, whom the world ignorantly calls God, formed and fashioned this earth, this universe, this world, simply by the words that he spoke out of his mouth. So you and I must be ever so careful as to what we speak out of our mouths at any given time. Let us go over to the book of Hebrews, family. Hebrews chapter 11. And let's see here. Hebrews 11, family, verses 1 through 3. And it reads as follows. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand or overstand that the worlds, that's plural, that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahuwah, so that the things which are seen were not made by things which do appear. So Abba Yahuwah spoke this world into existence, showing how powerful words are. They are vibrational, family, and they become life. Going over, leaving Hebrews, let us go to the book of Yehukanan, or Big John, As they say in the Christian church, or circ, CIRCE, St. John chapter 14, verses 12 through 15. And it reads as follows. And this is red letters. So family, this is Yahushua, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, speaking here. The letter J is only 400 years old. The Hamashiach walked the earth 2,000 years ago. So it would be impossible for his name respectfully to be Jesus. It is Yahushua. And what does Yahushua mean, family? Yahuwah saves. Hebrews chapter, Salakia. St. John chapter 14, verses 12 through 15 reads as follows. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, he or she shall do greater works than these. Shall he do, because I go unto my Father. Once again, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father, Abba, may be esteemed or glorified in the Son. If ye ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me, keep my commandments. And the commandments are 10, which includes Sabbath worship, which is Saturday. And the 10 commandments point to the 613 laws found in the first 5 books of what they call Moses. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So the 10 commandments point towards the 613 laws. Words are vibrational. They become life. Let us go to the book of Mark. Mark chapter 11. And we want verses 20 and 23. Mark chapter 11, verse 20 through 23. And it reads as follows. And in the top of the Yom, morning. English is a polluted language, family. And even in English, they have the word mourning. But mourning means to be sad, but that's for another lesson. Reading on. Verse 20 of Mark 11 reads, And in the morning, or the top of the Yom, as they passed by, they saw a fig tree dried up from the roots. And Kepha, or Peter, calling to remembrance, saith unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou cursedst is withered away. And Yahushua, whom they ignorantly call Jesus, answering, saith unto them, Have faith in Yahuwah, for verily I say unto you, pay attention, verse 23 of Mark chapter 11 is why we came here. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say to this mountain, Be thou removed, and be cast into the depths of the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe those things which he or she saith shall come to pass, and he shall have whatsoever he saith. So whatever mountain and whatever situation we may have in our lives, we are supposed to speak positive words over our situation, calling those things that are not as though they already are. We may be in a particular situation, hypothetically, where we may be sad. But Yahushua says, speak life into your situation. Instead of saying the word sad and depressed, I'm happy and I'm getting better by the day. The words become life, you see. Or you may be in a particular financial situation and you may have a financial lack. And instead of speaking in your current situation and saying that I am poor or broke, say I am rich and I am abundant. And I have all things that the Father Yahuwah has for me to have. So we shouldn't speak We should always, speak life into our situations, no matter what our temporary situations are at any given time. Let us go over to the book of John again, Yehukanan, St. John, chapter 6, and we want verse 63. It says, "It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life." So at all times, we should speak life into our situations. We may be in a down state. We may be not feeling well, sick, or sad, or not having finances as we feel like we should. We should always speak life into our situation. And instead of speaking negatively over our lives, even though we may be at that current time in any given particular situation, we should speak positive. How are you doing this, Yom? Or how are you doing today? Super fantastic. Super fantastic. Come on, family. Stay with me. Give me let's see here. Words are swords and the power of I am.